picture this, right? Taylor Swift goes to Minnesota for this game. All right. The Vikings, led by nobody else other than Kirk motherfucking Cousins, goes into this game, beats the crap out of Kansas City, and Taylor Swift goes home with Kirk Cousins.
He's got the script.
He's got the script.
I've got the
He's
script.
got the script.
What can I say? It's over. Sorry, Kelsey.
Hello and welcome back to the Four Score Sports Podcast, your play-by-play source. I am Christian, joined here with Michael, Brenden, and Nick. Spencer is again out today, but that's all right. Today we're going to be tackling some topics, some quick topics. The NHL Extensions that have recently been signed by four notable players: Zegras, Zuccarello, Backlund, and
Foligno.
Thank you. Oh my God. Okay. Next, we're going to take on some Week 5 picks, and because of our scheduling, we can finally make some Thursday picks. We're also going to talk about the start of the MLB playoffs today on the 3rd of October, and we're going to dissect the Jrue Holiday trade that sent him to the Celtics. All right, so let's. I guess we have to talk about this.
I know it hurts you.
Trevor Zegras signs a 3-year extension, 5.75 cap hit, total value of $17,250,000. Excuse me. This is a one-way deal, and like I said in episode 1, I believe that this bridge deal was supposed to take place for Zegras specifically, because if you remember, Troy Terry signed that. What was it, 7x7? And then, Zegras is saying, hey, why am I not getting this money? And I'm thinking that Pat Verbeek had talked to Zegras, said, let's have a bridge deal, and when we cross that bridge, we'll talk about your extension coming up. What do you guys think?
I don't necessarily think that. I think it's a little. I don't know if it's an overpay exactly, because you're getting the shorter term deal, so you can kind of see how, like, if he's just like a one-hit wonder type deal, which he's not looking like it. He's a talented player. You can't deny that, no matter what team he's on. But I think it is a little bit too much money for a bridge deal. I don't know. I think Trevor Zegras is such a weird, wishy-washy player that, like, he's basically ESPN bait. He's really just out there trying to make all these extra moves for no reason.
Don't even get me started. As a
literally
Kings fan.
a Mickey Mouse
Jesus.
player right there. But the Ducks have the cap space to sign him to this deal. I don't see it being necessarily a bad deal, especially with this cap going up. It'll be fine. I don't think it's an overpayment necessarily. I wouldn't spend that much money on him, but you're getting a pretty solid player out of it, so I don't think you can complain.
Yeah, just over 60 points in the season he played last year with the Ducks. So not great, not horrifying. We'll see in 3 years what he ends up doing, because he was tied with Buffalo before this extension. Next up, we got Marcus Foligno and Matt Zuccarello, both signing extensions with the Minnesota Wild. Marcus Foligno with a smooth 4x4, and Matt Zuccarello with a 2x4.125. These are both talented players that I really think that Minnesota needs to hang on to for their playoff desires. I'm not going to say push yet, because they haven't gone anywhere, but I think these are good, solid pickups for them, extensions for them. So I think these are good signings. Just in my
I
opinion.
agree. I think the Zuccarello deal is better than the Flamino deal. They're both on a bit of the older side, and Zuccarello did show signs of regression last season, which I believe that the 2-year deal is perfectly fine for him. Foligno, though, 4x4, he's already 32 years old. Towards the back end of that contract, may put them in a bit of cap hell as they were already in earlier with 2 contracts they bought out. But from what I hear from Minnesota fans, he is, the heart and soul of this team. So 4 years, $4 million, I'd pay that, especially, like we keep saying, the cap will go up next season. So I think it'll be fine. It's just the term is a bit long for me, but that's my only complaint.
I think I'm most okay with Foligno's deal, only because I just think Foligno, I mean, like you said, he's the heart and soul of the team. Still, I mean, he's a little bit older, but he's still relatively young in comparison to Zuccarello, who's apparently 36. Christian and I were talking about it, like he does not seem like he's 36 years old. So like he doesn't look 36. So I mean, I think he's just playing like a younger guy. So I mean, not too bad to be able to get an older guy signed under that. But I think they're both good deals. I guess they had the money to do it. They're now kind of in a cap hell. I don't think you really want to be signing a 36-year-old to another 2 years. That just becomes really risky, especially with health and play ability. I just think that the Zuccarello one might be a little bit questionable. But I do like the Foligno one. I mean, he's wearing an A, so I think he's gonna be a good person to stay, backbone of the team, and he brings a good veteran presence.
And I think partially another thing that like goes into the Zuccarello deal is like he is kind of like Kaprizov's right hand guy. Like he has great chemistry with him, and they definitely would want to keep him around just because of that too.
That's true. Very true.
Marcus Foligno, 32, and Matt Zuccarello, 36, both wingers. Some good signings for up there in St. Paul. And last extension, we got the new captain of the Flames, 35-year-old Mikael Backlund, signing a 2 by $4.5 million deal. And, it's a step for Calgary. A step in what direction? I don't know. I mean, like, not saying that Backlund shouldn't deserve anything like this or anything like that. I think he's a solid player, but, with the Flames just, looking to bounce back this next year, trying to get that talented team back into the playoff picture. They got Backlund there for a little while, this franchise player who's been there for a long time, apparently. Not to my knowledge, but only brought up to me last week, but, Mikael Backlund, good extension for him.
I agree. And then, like, I believe he signed the extension and then he was named captain, like, immediately after. Like, you got to extend your captain. And I think he's about to hit 1,000 games just as a player on the Flames. Like, he's only played for the Flames his entire career. Yep.
Silver stick, good
just
for him.
On the
he's
Flames.
He's at 900.
Yeah. So, season and a bit from next. And then, yeah. But I think it's a good deal. Short term, older player. He's your captain now. You got to extend him, right?
Yeah, so we'll see what Craig Conroy and the Flames go on and cook up there in Alberta. And yeah, that does it for extensions. Monk, you want to take us away for NFL picks?
Yes, sir. Let me just open up my stuff. All right. So, real quickly, just want to kind of talk a bit about last week too. Just like our games, the ones that we watched. The Rams and Colts. I don't fucking understand why we can't just have a normal win. Like okay, I don't know if y'all watched the game. We were up 23-0 and Indy ended up tying it. Like, I don't know why we can't just fucking have a normal win. That being said, Puka Nacua is the best wide receiver in the NFL. I don't care what y'all gotta say. Debate a brick wall. That man is my legal fucking father. I will be getting a Nacua jersey some point this season.
Well said. Well said. I only watched 2 games. I watched the Monday one where the Seahawks murdered the Giants.
Oh.
And then I watched the NFL
the
rig the game
worst
for the Swifties. I mean,
To say the word.
I mean, are you kidding me? You guys, we all saw the clips of the holding, And
Oh my god.
It just
the
gave
holding
me-
the holding that was called and the holding that wasn't
that gave me
called.
Super Bowl PTSD.
Dude, Zach Wilson is a dog though.
He's a dog.
I love it. But
He
bro saw
Vanilla
Donna
Big.
Kelsey in the press box in the suite next to Taylor Swift, and he decided to ball out.
If that's what you want to call it.
well,
Those are the only two games I watched.
If that's the key to Zach Wilson's improvement, then well, got to get what you can get.
Gotta have some more mothers in
He
the
started to get some confidence back.
I mean, yeah.
Love to see it. Always rooted for Zach Wilson.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I watched one single game, and that game gave me the worst heartache just possible. I just want to know
Can I guess?
how you let Sam Howell do that. I mean, I get it. Your defensive backs are just not healthy, but come on, that's just pitiful, bro. Like Sam Howell did not play a great game by any really means. Like, he didn't really impress me too much. The Eagles just kind of let them get safe yardage, like little checkdowns here and there. So not anything crazy, but come on. I mean, the defense was not there for the Eagles, and they just need to figure out the passing defense, and I think they're golden. And then just Jalen Hurts played a beautiful game. Not even gonna lie, amazing placed balls. Just actually passed for over 300 yards. It's a freaking miracle. AJ Brown's better than Puka Nacua or whatever the fuck his name is.
I will fight you.
You can fight me. You can debate a brick wall. I don't care because you're wrong. Anyways, I just think that the offense played a really great game. The defense didn't really do that well. I think there's a lot to improve on for next week. But Jake Elliott is the best kicker in the NFL. I don't want to hear it. He is got the clutch gene on activate.
All right, so now let's move on to our Week 5 picks. First game up, we got a Thursday night snooze fest between the Chicago Bears and Washington Commanders. Me personally, I will not be watching this game. I'm going to go with Washington.
How do you let this game get televised, bro? Not even just televised. Just how do you put it in prime time? Just how do you do that? But regardless, I think Washington was able to make a competitive game in Philly. I say Washington takes this.
I'm going to agree with you two there. Washington, they played well against a mobile QB who can throw, and now they're going against a mobile QB who can't throw. So we're going to go with the Commanders here.
I got nothing to say. I mean, just it's Washington's game. I mean, you got from the Bears, you had that awesome performance, just went to shit against the Broncos. You let Broncos country ride. How do you do that? I don't understand how you did that. So I have no faith in the Bears whatsoever through the rest of the season. I'm sorry, Bears fans, but I'm going to take the Commanders on this one.
Yeah. Next up, we got the the London Jaguars versus the Buffalo Bills. I think this game will be close, but I'm gonna go with Buffalo here.
I think Jacksonville has the clear, distinct home field advantage
London.
here.
London.
In London, but I think the Bills are just too complete of a team. There's just no way around it. Give me Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you two there. I think the Bills finally found their stride last week, and it's a home game, but, it's Josh Allen.
Yeah. Wait, no, Christian, did you go?
Hang on.
Hold on.
I got a couple things to say.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
4 words. I got a feeling. Okay? Now, this is going to be a more scientific breakdown, okay? Listen to me, okay? The Jaguars have been in London since last week, okay? They have also been comfortable in that time zone. The Bills are just getting to London. They are going to be jet lagged. Guaranteed. They will be fatigued because of the travel. I think it's Jacksonville's game. The London populace that went to that game is more familiar with the Jaguars. I think they will have a good home field advantage, an odd one, but a good home field advantage there. I think the Jaguars upset the Bills here.
Interesting.
That's a
Alright.
feeling. That is
I wouldn't be
It is
surprised.
indeed a feeling. I mean, it could happen.
It'll be
Next up,
close.
we got the Saints and the Patriots. Not too invested in this game. I'm gonna go with New Orleans. I think they're the better overall team. Had a bad performance this past week, but I think they'll rebound.
I think with Carr back and like fully healthy and fully running, he's a good quarterback. There's no way around it. And Mac Jones kind of got demoralized last week against that Dallas defense, so I'm gonna go New Orleans.
Yeah, Mac Jones got absolutely exposed. Yeah, I'm gonna go with New Orleans as well here.
Nothing to say in New Orleans.
Fair enough. Next up, we got the Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts. Colts put up a really good game against the Rams. An infuriating one for me as a Rams fan, but nonetheless a good game. Anthony Richardson is a dog. Give me Indianapolis.
Yeah, I'm an Anthony Richardson truther. Him, Michael Pittman, Jonathan Taylor's back. Unstoppable trio, honestly, right there. So I'm gonna take the Colts.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring that up. How Jonathan Taylor comes back. I mean, the Titans did slaughter the Bengals last week, but it's a close one. I'm going with Colts as well.
Yeah, with Richardson coming back and playing that game against the Rams with an almost complete comeback there, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Colts. Nothing really excites me about Tennessee. I don't know, just nothing there for me. So give me the Colts.
All right. Next up, we got we got. Wait, hang on. I'm sorry, I got lost. Next up, we got the Baltimore Ravens and Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, Baltimore is the better team here. Like, yeah, give me Baltimore. Matt Canada needs to be fired.
Last week we all thought that Baltimore's injuries were going to creep up on them. Clearly did not affect them at all. So Baltimore just proven that they're looking like a scary team out there. So I'm gonna take Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with everyone else here. I hate the Steelers. They might not have a QB, and Lamar Jackson is him. Give me the Ravens.
Yeah, I'll admit, Ravens proved me wrong last week. They can make that system work throughout all those injuries. So yeah, give me Baltimore here. Nothing from the Steelers is exciting. I'm sorry, but yeah, Canada needs to go, and just the Ravens will expose that.
All right. Next up, we got the Carolina Panthers and the Detroit Lions. I don't really have much to say. Give me the Lions.
Yeah, this is not going to be a close game. This might be one that kind of gets a little scary, fringing on Denver's game against Miami. I just think Detroit's offense is so good, and nothing in Carolina is stopping that. So give me Detroit.
Oh yeah, I'm going with Detroit. I think for the next 14 weeks, I'm going to go with 13 weeks. I'm going to go with Detroit as well. But they get Jameson Williams back. #free GMO played off. And now he's going to be able to stretch that field even more. The offense is only going to get better. And the defense, since I think that they're ranked, some analytics said that they're now like top 5 in a bunch of yards per game stats. And I mean, just give me my Lions. Nothing else to say.
Just a clear, decisive winner over this one already. I see the Lions winning this over the Panthers.
Yeah. Next up, we were talking a bit about this game before we started recording. I don't know how this game is being aired on live TV. I was under the impression murder is illegal, but we got the New York Giants and the Miami Dolphins. I mean, I don't know how you cannot pick the Dolphins to win this game. I mean, everything's going to have to go all against the Dolphins in every way, shape, and form for them to lose this game. I don't see how they lose this.
There must be such a bad matchup that I forget to write it down on my whiteboard, because I was looking at my whiteboard. I'm like, what are you talking about? Just didn't even write it down. You already know. Lock in the Dolphins.
It should be a slaughter. Dolphins.
The Dolphins are going to put up more than 40 points on the Giants. I gotta lock that down too. Literally, you gotta have an asteroid hit the stadium for the Dolphins not to win. So, yeah, give me Miami.
Yeah. Next up, we got the Cincinnati Bengals and the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know what's going on with Cincinnati this season. I mean, I don't know. Burrow just got his paycheck and just dipped. I do think since he will be able to win this game, I don't think it's going to be a fun game to watch though.
Let me give y'all one of the craziest stats I could pull out of my ass. All right. The Cincinnati Bengals have the lowest points for by any team in the NFL. And it's not really even particularly close. So give me the Arizona Cardinals. That team's looking pretty solid. Dobbs can actually throw a football. They're a pretty solid team, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you guys here too. I think Joe Burrow got a bag and he's playing horrible. He's slow to his reads, and I think he's ranked 33rd or 34th in some quarterback stats, and there's only 32 starting quarterbacks. And the Cardinals are sneaky good. I think some NFL player came out and said if the Cardinals had Kyler Murray, they'd be 3-0. And I agree with that too. Give me the Cardinals.
Man, I feel bad for the Bengals front office having to write that huge check to someone who cannot live up to that expectation. I mean, just that stat that you brought up, Nick, I thought the Steelers would lead in that department with lowest.
I actually lied. It was a 1 point difference. The Giants actually have, I think a 3 point lead on the lowest point scored. That was my bad. I was one off.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, like, what difference does that make? I mean, come on. You're sitting down there with the Giants in that department, and like that's just awful. Okay. So, I mean, like, I've given the Bengals a chance throughout some of my picks. Just I can't have faith in them anymore. Burrow has proven to be a fraud through 4 weeks. Give me Arizona.
Yeah. Real quickly, I'm just realizing I fucked up. I forgot one of the morning slate games. We got the Houston Texans and the Atlanta Falcons. Now, as much as we clown on Caleb Williams not being able to count to 3, the man can sling a football.
Caleb Williams?
Oh, wait. See, what the fuck am I
Not
talking
Caleb
about?
Williams
Jesus
yet.
Christ.
Brody is having a
CJ
moment.
Stroud moment.
I'm having a fucking stroke right now.
He's literally having
a CJ Stroud moment. But CJ Stroud, as much as we fucking clown on him for not knowing how to count to 3, having to use his toes to count, like, man can throw a football. I'm gonna go with Houston.
Brody, like you said, Brody can throw a football. There's nothing in Houston that impresses me besides CJ Stroud. So I don't know how they're winning football games. The Falcons have been unable to score touchdowns in their last 2 games. There's no reason Houston doesn't win this. And the fact that I'm saying that and it's 2023, I must be living in a simulation. But give me the Texans without a doubt.
I mean, yeah, CJ Stroud. I mean, he really reminds me of like a Forrest Gump, like Bobby Boucher type of player. You know, he's just, you know, he can't have a license, he can't vote, he has special needs, but he can play sports. Damn it, and that's why I'm gonna go with the Texans here.
Man said it himself. He is not a test taker. He just plays football. And right now, we're picking people who can play football. Give me CJ Stroud, the Texans. I'm proud of that room temperature IQ motherfucker. Get that win, baby.
All right, going back to the afternoon games, we got the Philadelphia Eagles and the Los Angeles Rams. I want to say I have a feeling. I unfortunately do not have a feeling. I think the Eagles are going to win this game.
I respect that. It takes a lot to admit that. But yeah, I think the Eagles got it. They're one of the only undefeated teams left, and they're not going to be the first one out, I don't think. So, and as much as I kind of was liking that Rams team, the Eagles are a more complete team, and I think that defense is going to be able to lock down those weapons that they have. So I'm gonna go Eagles.
Yes. I do want to mention that Cooper Cup could come back this game.
That's right. I forgot to mention that Cooper Cup is it's a good chance he'll be back. I still think the Eagles are gonna win, but yeah.
You put Cooper Cup, Puka Nacua.
Oh my God.
What's that other white boy's name? Skoranek. All right, you put a bunch of white receivers, a bunch of white gritty receivers, and Matthew Stafford against possibly one of the best, if not the best team in the NFL. Get yourself a recipe for disaster. Listen, I've said it once, I said it again. Matthew Stafford is at his best when he's going against the best team in the league on a shitty team, although the Rams aren't a shitty team anymore. They've actually been decent this year. I want to go with the Rams here. Sorry, Nick.
Ass pick. You believe in Zach Van Valkenburg.
There's too much grit on that roster.
Hang on. I'm sensing something.
Oh, no. I don't want to sense it.
Words, boy. I got a feeling. Listen, okay? Cooper Cup has a chance to come back here, and I'm going to rely on it, okay? I will be faithful, hopeful that he will come back. And just like you said, Skronik, Nacua, Cup from Stafford? Listen, it'll be a good game. It will be good. I'm not saying like it will be decisive or anything like that. Like this will be a back and forth thing. But I gotta go with the Rams here. I feel like Cup will increase those chances just enough.
Too much grit.
I say nothing.
Yeah. Next up, we got the New York Jets and the Denver Broncos.
Snore.
I know Broncos Country Road. Broncos Country Road last week. I think they will be grounded this week by the Jets. New York.
I think the Jets still have a great defense. So, that wasn't taken from them. Aaron Rodgers will come back by the end of the season. They've got a lot to hope for. They got a playoff push to go for. If the Jets lose this game, I think they just recycle the team and pray for next year. So I think the Jets have a lot to prove here. So I'm going the Jets.
Isn't this the Nathaniel Hackett revenge game, if I'm not wrong?
I would be inclined to believe that to be true.
I think so. And Zach Wilson looked like a competent quarterback against one of the best teams in the NFL. And I just got to go with the Jets here. I'm rooting for him, honestly. I'm rooting for the MILF Slayer.
Yeah, me too. Listen, I personally think someone sent the last episode and picked out my snippet about what I said about the Broncos, saying that I find it funny that Denver gets embarrassed. So I'm going to go with it again. I think the Jets will win.
Yeah. Next up, we got the Kansas City Chiefs and the Minnesota Vikings. I got 4 words for y'all.
Oh, boy.
I got a feeling.
I think we all got a feeling.
I think Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson are going to put to sleep the Kansas City Chiefs. Give me the Minnesota Vikings.
Wow. This one's tough for me because I recognize that Minnesota has so much talent on that team and they're just underperforming. I think a game like this could really spark it. We don't have primetime Kirk, so this is so tough. I originally put Kansas City, but I think you've convinced me. I'll go the Vikings. Fuck it.
Yes, sir. Hop on the bandwagon.
I'll hop on it.
I've never wanted a natural disaster to strike a stadium more in my life. Or some sort of act of never mind. But I hate both of these teams. But what I hate more is my entire Instagram feed filled with she who will not be named. And I would love nothing more than for the Chiefs to lose this game. They need to lose. The whole NFL social media team is in on it, and I hate it. Every single social media outlet is in on it, and I hate it, and I need to see the Chiefs lose. This is probably the only time in my life I've ever depict a divisional opponent to win a game, but I need the Vikings to pull this one out.
Okay. Now, I don't mean to be a negative Nancy and a part of all this, but Listen. Okay, no. Hold on. I am going to pick Minnesota for the sake of picks, okay? However, just know that the setup that the league is putting here because of this relationship, quote unquote, realistically, Kansas City will beat the fuck out of them. But I'm picking Minnesota to win, to win, just to manifest that Chiefs loss, so all the Swifties can fucking go home.
All right.
I just wait. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Picture this, okay? Where is this game being played, by the way?
Minnesota.
Is it in Kansas City?
The game is in Minnesota.
Okay. Picture this, right? Taylor Swift goes to Minnesota for this game. All right? The Vikings, led by nobody else other than Kirk motherfucking Cousins, goes into this game, beats the crap out of Kansas City, and Taylor Swift goes home with Kirk Cousins. Calling it right now.
He's got the script.
He's got the script.
I've got the
He's
script.
got the script.
I've got... What can I say? It's over. Sorry, Kelsey.
Could you imagine?
Dude, please. Just, God.
How that would be some drama I'd be.
I just had a vision.
Yeah,
Woke up with it.
vision.
It visited him in a dream.
I saw it in a dream. You gotta trust me on this one.
The prophecy has spoken.
Is there a money line I can bet for this, or
Honestly,
Over
at
under
this
hearts
point, there should
broken
be.
1.5.
yeah, can I get the Kirk Cousins stealing Travis Kelce's girl money line? Is that a thing?
Travis Kelsey about to write an album about it.
Shit.
It'll be Kelsey's album.
All right.
Anyways,
Next up, we got, for the Sunday night game, we got a playoff rematch between two teams that have met not only last year, but the year before. One of the best rivalries in football. We got the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. Both teams obviously off to impressive starts. San Fran being one of the only undefeated teams in the league, and Dallas, I think, are frauds. I just can't bring myself. I hate both these teams, but I think San Fran is gonna pull this one out.
You say it's a big rivalry. Sure, they might have recent history. Not even close to the biggest rivalry.
I didn't say the biggest. I said one of the biggest.
Oh, but I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard of a Cowboys 49ers rivalry.
I've
But
heard plenty about
hear me out. Hear me out. All right. You could say anything you want about the Cowboys being 3-1 right now, but let's just take a look at who they lost to. They lost to Arizona. They're proving to be a little bit better than we might have thought, but it's still Arizona nonetheless. And this is the Cowboys team that is like the God-send Cowboys team to save the 30-year drought. With that being said, the 49ers are a lock for this game. Case closed. Dallas is frauds.
I hate the Cowboys, 49ers.
yeah, I think San Francisco will stay undefeated here. They're just the better team on paper and on the field. So San Francisco all the way.
All right, and then last up, the Monday night game, we got the Green Bay Packers and the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders will not be a good team until Josh McDaniels is fired and Mark Davis sells the team. Packers are going to win this game by 45.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were we talking about the Monday Night Football game? You mean the biggest snooze fest of all time? I don't see a world where Las Vegas has a chance. Jimmy G is literal ass, and I think Devontae Adams might be injured. I don't know. I think he might be injured.
No, so he came back into the game last week.
Okay. Even still?
Yeah, no.
Packers cleaning. It's not even going to be fair.
I completely agree with both of you. I think Josh McDaniels is horrible. Jimmy G is a system quarterback. I personally don't really like the Raiders, even though they're 25 miles away from my house. But I hate the Packers more. So just for that and pure sake of bias, I'm going with the Raiders.
I mean, yeah, just like Michael said. I mean, like McDaniel's got to be fired. There's nothing going on in Raider country. So give me the pack. Cheeseheads. Yeah, give me Green Bay.
Yeah, I don't hear enough people talking about it, but Mark Davis is a fucking terrible owner. He needs to sell that team like yesterday. He's got to go. The Raiders will not be a good team until he is gone. He's made so many shit decisions, like hiring John Gruden, getting rid of Rich Bisaccia. I mean, just oh my god. I could rant about him for fucking hours, but yeah. Anyways, that does it for week 5.
Awesome. I love doing the picks. It's one of my favorite parts of the segment. Okay. Next up, we got the MLB postseason has gone underway. Today, October 3rd. We got our first games played. Minnesota has finally won a playoff game. Texas leads the Rays. Arizona has a lead over the Milwaukee Brewers, and the Phillies lead the Marlins as well. Nick, anything you would like to add, Mr. Baseball?
This is a whack first day. Minnesota winning a game of playoff baseball is kind of crazy. Never thought I'd hear that. Texas kind of smacked Tampa Bay. I mean, everyone has Tampa Bay winning, but I mean, come on. Texas has been on fire all season. And then in the NL side, I mean, Arizona and Milwaukee isn't really much of a fun matchup, but I think the Phillies and Marlins matchup is going to stay as electric as it was today or tonight. So I think it's a great first day of playoff baseball.
Yeah. Now, Nick and I did. I've filled out our brackets. I think at least you did, Nick, right? Said that.
Yeah.
I
did a quick little one.
Real quickly, I'm just gonna go over my bracket real quick. So for this wild card round, I have Texas beating Tampa. I have I know the Twins won today, but I initially did put Toronto beating Minnesota. We'll see how that plays out. I think Milwaukee will beat Arizona, and Philadelphia will beat Miami. For the divisional round, I got the Baltimore Orioles beating the Texas Rangers, and the detestable Houston Astros beating Toronto. Then over in the National League, I'm going to go with the Dodgers to beat the Brewers and the Atlanta Braves to beat the Philadelphia Phillies. For that championship series, I'm going to go with the Orioles over the Astros. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but what I'm feeling. And then I do think the Braves will beat the Dodgers. As much as I would obviously love to see the Dodgers win another World Series, I think Atlanta is just a way better team. We didn't do so well against them this season. Yeah. In the World Series, I predict that the Baltimore Orioles will beat the Atlanta Braves in 7 games. Call it right now.
I was trying to refrain from giving you any type of reaction, I was just trying to see what you were gonna say. We had some key agreements and some key differences. Over on the AL side, I'm taking the Toronto Blue Jays over the Minnesota Twins. Toronto's just a better overall team, and Minnesota has never done this before, so I don't foresee this being something that they go far in. I got Texas over Tampa Bay. It's a lock pretty much. And then in the NL side, I have the Arizona Diamondbacks beating the Milwaukee Brewers. I've been saying it from the get-go this season. Arizona's a really, really good team, and they should be kind of feared. And then I have the Philadelphia Phillies bleeding the Miami Marlins. And then back into the AL, I have the Houston Astros beating the Blue Jays. it's not even going to be a fair fight. Houston's just a really solid team, and they have so much playoff experience that it's gonna overpower them. And then I have the Orioles beating the Rangers. I think the Rangers just don't quite have what it takes. Um, they showed a lot of that slowing at the end of the season, and that cost them a first round bye. So, with that being said, we'll go back to the NL, and I'm going to take the Dodgers over the Diamondbacks. Needless to say, that's a pretty safe bet. And something I'm going to disagree with you, Michael, is I think the Phillies just have the Braves number in the playoffs. They kicked their ass last year. I don't foresee it being any different. The Phillies have always been somewhat successful against the Braves in the playoffs whenever they get the chance to play. So I think it'll be the most entertaining series of the entire playoffs. And then going back to the AL side, Baltimore will beat the Astros to go to the World Series. That's our big agreement right there. I love that young Baltimore team. I think they've got so much potential. And then this might be where my bias comes out. I think the Phillies take a really tough Game 7 against the Dodgers. Just got a feeling, honestly. The Phillies have just been constantly getting hot when they need to be, and I don't see them slowing down. So I'm gonna take the Phillies there, and then Baltimore, Philly in the World Series. Would not have guessed this at the beginning of the season, but for the memes, yeah. Anyone want to guess what I'm taking? It's just gotta be the Phillies. The Phillies got it this year. This is our year.
Yeah. This year's playoffs are like really interesting. Oh yeah, wait, yeah, Christian?
I'm sorry. Michael, you're gonna have to go with me step by step on this because I think we have the exact same bracket.
No shit,
okay,
really?
Walk through me with this.
Okay.
Toronto, Minnesota. Who did you pick?
Toronto, Minnesota. I went with Toronto.
I got Toronto as well. Texas, Tampa.
I'm going with Texas.
Texas. Okay, I got Texas. Arizona, Milwaukee.
I went with Milwaukee.
I got Milwaukee as well. Okay, Miami, Philly.
I got Philly.
I also got Philly. Okay, now Toronto, Houston.
I got Houston.
I also picked Houston. Tampa Bay, Texas, Baltimore.
I got Baltimore.
I also got Baltimore. Okay, and then who is it? Oh, Milwaukee, Los Angeles.
I got the Dodgers.
I also got the Dodgers. Okay, Philly, Atlanta.
Atlanta.
I also got Atlanta. Okay, Houston, Baltimore.
Baltimore.
I also got Baltimore. Dodgers, Braves.
Braves.
I also got the Braves. Holy shit. And you picked Baltimore to win, right?
Yeah.
I got Baltimore to win too. That's awesome.
That's fucking great.
And I was writing it as
crazy.
you guys were going through because I forgot to finish and I was like, yeah, okay. I got Baltimore winning it all. Just that young Baltimore team has been like just, jumped on the scene there. And I feel like it'll be just an awesome story for them to win all, especially against that Braves team. That Braves team has been fantastic throughout the whole year. I mean, just look at Ronald Acuna Jr. Geez, 40-70, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
First time anyone's even hit like a 30-60, let alone a 40-70.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He was the first for 30-60, right?
Yeah, he was the first for like
anything
past a 30-30. He's the first one. Like,
yeah,
it's ridiculous.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was about to say though, this year's playoffs, in my opinion, are like is the most exciting. Like, honestly, like obviously, I'd want the Dodgers to win. My favorite team, of course, I'd want them to win. But honestly, as long as anyone that's not Houston wins, I'll be content. Like usually there's like a couple teams that I like really don't want to win, like Boston or New York or whatever. But no, like aside from Houston, I'm genuinely content with any one of these teams winning the World Series.
And here, if I could jump in here, like I'll tell you why it's exciting because you don't. Well, Houston's been here. for a while. The Dodgers have been here for a while. So has Atlanta. But like, think about it. You got these random teams. I brought this up last time. The Yankees and the Red Sox aren't here. So you have newer teams like Miami, Baltimore, and you got Arizona coming back into the playoff picture after a few rocky years there. I'll also say the Phillies are also like new-ish to like today's modern like recent playoffs, like recent like last year. And like that's why it's exciting, because like you have all these new teams coming in, and it's not just the usual Red Sox, Yankees. I mean, yeah, you got Houston here, but like look, the Blue Jays are here. The Texas Rangers are here. Like this like it's refreshing. Like as a semi hard diehard baseball fan, you know, I'm a Dodgers fan as well. You know, it's exciting. It's like it's refreshing. Like I said, it's refreshing to see all these new teams coming in, and like, you know, Baltimore sprung onto the scene. And, you know, look, now they just wait for the winners of the Rays and the Rangers, and I think this is awesome. Like this is fantastic. I love it.
The only thing that would make this playoff bracket even better is if you took out the Rays and put in the Mariners. Perfect playoff. That's like my ideal playoff.
Yeah.
Honestly, like each of these matchups have so much to look forward to. I think you get so many new teams, like Christian said. You get so many new teams to this playoff picture. I feel like I've been a closeted Orioles fan for all my life at this rate. I feel like a lot of us have, because when a team does so bad for so long, finally figures it out and finally hits it right, it's like one of the most satisfying things ever.
You just want to cheer for
you
them.
don't see that very often.
It's one of my favorite things.
You don't see that very often. So
Yeah, that's one of my
what'd you say?
that's one of my favorite things about sports, is seeing teams that like, have like historically struggled start to do really well. Like going back to football, like the Bengals. Like, dude, a couple years before they made the Super Bowl, they went 2-14.
They were so bad.
The worst record in the league. They hadn't won a playoff game since before the internet was invented.
Yeah.
Is that true?
And then they went to that's true. They had made the playoffs a good amount of times, but they hadn't won a game since like the early 90s. Yeah, like that it's the same thing with that 2021 NFL playoffs. Like honestly, if the Rams had not been in the Super Bowl, I would have been rooting for the Bengals, because I just love underdog stories like that. Cleveland was the same way. I mean, you can't get much worse than not winning a single game in a season.
Yeah.
And then going from that to going head to head with the Chiefs in the divisional round, yeah, shit you love to see.
Oh yeah. I think also on the contrary, like I love seeing like historically dominant franchises get sent to just the bottom and just kind of like sent to the basement, because like obviously unless it's my team, but my team's very rarely a dominant team for so long. I think like it's just so satisfying to watch the Yankees not make the playoffs or the Red Sox not make the playoffs. Like teams, or like even when the Patriots lost Brady, like they just fell off the cliff.
Oh my
we
God.
found out that Belichick's a 500 head coach. Like he will never be above 500. So like it's just like stories like that where it's like a team that's so good for so long kind of like gets their humbling. It's like the greatest feeling ever as a sports fan. And then because that means you've given room for one of these like, you know, newer, not necessarily newer teams, but like younger teams, worse teams to just have their come up and really just explode like the Orioles.
You know,
Real quickly going back. Oh no, yeah, Christian,
go ahead. Oh, all right. Yeah. So I just want to throw in like the NHL side of that. You know, oh my God, Nick, you remember this? Remember how freaking good the Sharks were for like literal eons, bro? And just for them to like
for no reason
after 2019, like that was it. Like seeing the Sharks go, like as a Kings fan, honestly, like seeing them go, like see you later. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, or let it go ahead. It'll be funny either way. But like the Blackhawks too, like when they were good for so long. Oh my goodness. And you know, they got so much out of that. And I'm just gonna chip in this as well. Pittsburgh, when they were
I
dominant
was
for
just
so
I was
long,
just about to say that.
like when they couldn't beat the Blue Jackets or the Hawks in that same weekend in the final week of the season. Oh man, I was just like, like I don't hate the Penguins. Like the Penguins are a good team, with all those stars, Malkin, Crosby, who am I forgetting? Letang. Like I don't hate them, but like, geez, like I want new teams, and like finally we're getting it. We got the Panthers, you got the Devils coming back, stuff like that, and it's just nice to see, like, it's that refreshment of seeing new faces in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's nothing beats it, really.
Yeah, real quickly, going back to like the Patriots, my all-time favorite moment as a sports fan that doesn't involve my teams is watching Tom Brady throw a pick six in the wild card against the Tennessee Titans to seal the game for the Titans and effectively put an end to the Patriots dynasty.
What year was this?
This was 2019. This was like the year after the Patriots won their last Super Bowl.
Okay.
2019 or 2020?
Well, 2019 season, 2020 playoffs.
When did Brady get traded
gotcha,
to the Bucks again? Sorry.
The 2020 offseason. Okay, so this was not only the end to the Patriots dynasty. This was Tom Brady's final pass as a Patriot. It was a pick six to seal the game for the Titans. Oh my God, that, like, again, my all-time favorite sports moment that doesn't involve one of my teams.
I never really hated Brady. Like, for someone who's like kind of like just around the TV when football was on, it was like, oh, that's Brady. He's a fucking monster. Like, I can't really hate the guy. But man, just I remember the Michael, help me out here. When did he throw a pick six to as a Buck when we played? Was it when we won the Super Bowl? When we were playing the Bucks?
Was this regular season or playoffs? Because we've only
playoffs.
It would have been 21 because we've only played them once in the playoffs. But I don't.
And it was that final play, right?
No.
Am I remembering it wrong?
Yeah, because that game didn't end in a pick six. That ended with Stafford throwing a bomb to Cooper Kupp.
Okay, never mind. But yeah, like beating Brady, like that's a satisfying thing for anybody. And one of my favorite football moments, when I was just getting into football. Now I'm really into it. I love it. But yeah.
Beating Brady was the single-handedly, like, best moment of my life. Just watching the Eagles win their first Super Bowl against none other than Tom Brady, like, everything else just comes second. Like, I'm sorry. It's just so satisfying.
Yeah, fuck. There's one other thing I was gonna say. Oh yeah, going back. Yeah, I've never hated Brady. I've always respected him. Like, he's one of the, if not the best quarterback of all time. Like, he's the GOAT. I've never hated him. I've just hated the Patriots. And it's the same thing now with the Chiefs and Mahomes. I don't hate Mahomes. He's a fantastic player on his way to becoming one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Maybe even the greatest. Maybe he'll surpass Brady. I just fucking hate the Chiefs. Like, if he played on any other team, it'd be great.
I think what really plays into that is just media oversaturation.
Oh, for sure.
With those teams. I mean, like, yeah, like, again, like, I don't hate Brady. I don't hate Mahomes. He talks funny. But, like, again, like, media oversaturation. What is happening right now? I mean, like, no, I haven't seen universal dunkage on a team more than this. So, just media oversaturation plays a lot into, like, those hatred for, like, those such teams. I mean, like, everyone hated the Hawks because the Blackhawks. Everyone hated the Blackhawks because guess what? They were just winning championships on top of championships on top of championships with Kane, Taves, Keith, Seabrook, Crawford, all those players that were fantastic. And I never really hated those players. It was just the team that they were being put on blast for, and that's what's really insinuating the hate from like everybody kind of thing.
You know, you're right. You bring up the Chicago Blackhawks, and I remember those like early 2010s Chicago Blackhawks where they were just trading off with the Kings, winning cups, and I hated the Blackhawks more than anyone during that time. But now I look back and I'm like, I don't really hate those guys. Maybe I hate Seabrook, but like I don't really hate those guys. I respect their game. I respect they're all good, and heck, I mean Jonathan. I feel so bad for Jonathan Taves, but I still love his game, and I still really appreciate his contributions to the game. So it's like, I mean, there's always going to be those teams though that are like just so good and just kicks everybody's butt and just makes it just not fun to play against them, and they're oversaturated. I mean, I think every sport has an oversaturated player in the media or team in the media. Like basketball has LeBron. I mean, baseball has Ronald Acuna. I mean, or Shohei Ohtani, even. And then NFL's got Mahomes and Brady. Well, Brady then Mahomes. Hockey doesn't necessarily have one. Connor McDavid's pretty up there on the oversaturation.
Zegers.
But Zegers too. But that's just because we're LA fans and we have to see him all the time.
I know. It's awful. It's they don't really. I'm not gonna say the NHL doesn't really market those players because they do, but you just don't like. Like I hate teams for not because they're oversaturated. I hate other NHL teams for just completely other different reasons. Like, I hate the Sharks, I hate the Ducks, I hate the Knights because they're regional players. I hate the Oilers for specifically other reasons. But it's just more so just media oversaturation for everybody. But the NHL kind of doesn't really have that, so like you kind of have to hate for other reasons. And admittedly, NHL marketing isn't fantastic, but I think that's just the main reason why we hate all those teams that much.
Yeah.
But anyway, for time compression reasons, we got to move on for our last topic here. We got the Jrue Holiday trade that has sent him over to the Celtics. I need to pull up these.
I have the details if you.
I also got. Okay, I got the details. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so the Celtics are sending center Robert Williams III and guard Malcolm Brogdon, as well as a 2024 first-round pick that they had acquired from Golden State, and a 2029 first-round pick. That is all heading to the Blazers in exchange for Jrue Holiday. That is the trade.
Okay, how good is this Jrue Holiday guy? Again, I'll just give some context. I am not that big of a basketball fan, so I got to ask these questions. Is this good?
Jrue Holiday's pretty good. He's nothing like you're gonna write home about. He's a 20-point per game-ish player. Usually around 7-ish assists per game. About 5 rebounds per game, which is pretty good for a point guard. I could see. I mean, Portland. I mean, I said this last week when we talked about the initial trade for Damian Lillard and how Jrue Holiday went to the Blazers. I was like, he's not going to stay on the Blazers. He's not going to play a game there. So realistically, where the question was where was he going? The Celtics get a pretty great player to pair along with Jason Tatum. So I think it's a great return for Boston.
And now let me just ask this, because I actually just thought about this right now, like as you were talking. I'm going to try and put in NHL terms and see if it's comparable. But Quick being flipped from Columbus to Vegas so he can win.
I think the reasons are a little bit different. I think, yes, they both got traded to bad teams that had no real business holding on to these players. But Quick is also at the end of his career. Jrue Holiday he's not. He's only 33. He's still got a lot left in the tank. And I think the Blazers are really trying to get picks, and I don't think Quick was traded for too many high picks, given how he was performing. So I think it's a little bit different circumstances, but the idea is the same, that they just wanted to flip him. They didn't really have much. I mean, he wasn't the marquee piece of the trade. Hence, Damian Lillard and DeAndre Ayton, who were both more valuable than Jrue Holiday.
And just one last question. Do you, the Blazers, initially, did the Blazers initially get a lot, out of that three-team deal last week? They got a little bit, right? Or no? Or no, they were the ones.
Yeah.
Or were the ones who
they kind of loaded up on. They just sent. I think they sent a bench player in Damian Lillard. They didn't really trade. They didn't really send much out. They sent maybe a few bench players.
But they got the return.
Phoenix. They got a hefty return. They got a first round, 2 first round swaps. Jrue Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, and one more guy. I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Which is a really good return.
So, if you think about it, if you're a Blazers fan, this is fantastic because, you got a lot to look forward to because now the Blazers flipped him over to Boston for that freaking arms race in that conference. And the Blazers, snuck out with a lot of shit. They have 2 first-round picks in this deal alone. And honestly, to be honest, honest to God, I forgot the deal from last week. So whatever they got from that before, they also have this now, and Malcolm Brogdon and Robert Williams III. So, really, I if I were a Blazers fan, I would be content with what you got from one, sending Lillard out to sending Lillard to Milwaukee, and then sending Holiday over to the Celtics. And I just think that's awesome to look forward to, as a fan, as a fan who has seen rebuilding teams, getting that return is really nice.
So let me just put this into perspective really quick for you. I know I'm going to say a bunch of names, and you're not going to understand most of them. Michael,
ready.
You'll probably know a few of these names, but this is some of the players on this roster: Jeremy Grant, Matisse Thybulle, defensive mastermind, Robert Williams, Scoot Henderson, former, I think, 2nd, 3rd overall pick, DeAndre Ayton, and Anthony Simons with Malcolm Brogdon. Not a horrible looking team. And on top of that, they have now 2 extra first round draft picks and a couple late 2020s, 2027 to 2029 first round draft picks. It doesn't really do much for them now. It's in 4 to 6 years. Nothing's really going to happen with those picks, but those are going to be nice to look forward to for a longevity. But the team looks solid right now. They might sneak into the playoffs as a play-in team with this team. I could see it happening.
Pretty interesting stuff that's going on right before the NBA season. And that will be fun watching, Boston, Milwaukee, duke it out in that conference. Just, it'll be awesome. And with that will wrap it up here for us at the 4 Score Sports Podcast, your play-by-play source. Again, I'm Christian, joined here with Michael, Brenden, and Nick. Spencer's out today again, but we hope to see him soon. So, all that being said, we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I stuttered there. Oh my God. And we will see you next episode. Thank you.